Hello everyone, welcome to Knowledge Shava. I am Kriti Srivastava. Today we will discuss the chapter of physical education of class 12, that is psychology and sports. Before I start, do subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon for our latest updates. Apart from that, we also provide classes of all subjects from 8 to 12 and some specific classes from 9 to 12. These classes is available in both online and offline mode, and for more information you can contact us on WhatsApp number 9868771960. Let's start our chapter. The first topic of our chapter is personality. Personality is the brutality of sentiments, attitude, idea, habits, skills and behavior of an individual. Personality is a complete unit in itself, but the unit of personality is made up of various dimensions or aspects. The significant dimensions of personality are: first one, physical dimension. Physical dimension is related to good physique, good appearance, good health. The next one is mental dimension. Mental dimension is related to mental and intellectual strength and abilities. Mental dimension is too vital to be ignored. The third one is social dimensions. Humans are social animal. He lives in a society in which socialization takes place. Man does not live for himself alone. He lives for others too. Social ability is inherited in man's biological nature. Last one is emotional dimension. Emotional dimension is related to the emotional stability of one's personality. It means that one must have proper control over various emotions such as fear, anger, distress, happiness, etc. So these are the four dimensions of personality. The next topic is types of personality. Personality is divided into four types. The first one is type A. The individual with this type of personality are very competitive. They are self-critical. They are characterized by high working involvement. They are easily excited and going to that they usually fall prey to hypertension. The second one is type B personality. The individual with this type of personality are not competitive in nature. They are easygoing and patient, usually don't angry and hostile. The third one is type B personality. Individual with this type of personality have pleasing and appeasing nature. They are unable to express their emotions, especially anger. The fourth one is type B personality. The individual with this type of personality usually suffer from high degree of distress. They persistently suppress their feelings. Such people don't share their emotions with others because they always have a fear of rejection or disapproval. So these are the four types of personality. Topic is the classification by William Herbert Sheldon. W. H. Weldon classified personality of individual into the three following categories. The first one is endomorph. They have rounded physique and have developed muscles, whereas the second one is mesomorph. They have athletic physique and balanced body composition, and the third one is ectomorph. They have weak constitution of body and usually face difficulties in gaining weight. Now, the next topic is Jung's classification. Jung has classified personality on the basis of sociability, character as introvert, extrovert and ambivert. The first one is introvert. These are the persons who share characteristics such as shyness, social withdrawal and tendency to talk less. Whereas the extrovert means they have the tendency to be friendly, outgoing, talkative and social in nature. And the third one is ambivert. They are only few persons who are pure introverts or pure extrovert. The remaining majority of person possesses both the qualities or traits of introverts and extroverts. Such persons are called as ambiverts. The next topic, Big Five personality theory. It is a well-known fact that persons give different response to same situation. Indeed, the five big factor of personality are the five main domains in which human personality and account for individual differences. The five domains or dimensions of personalities are considered to be a fundamental trait that make an individual overall personality. The five traits of personalities are: the first one is openness. Persons who like to learn new things, new concepts, and enjoy new experience usually remain on the top in openness. The second one is extroversion. Extroverts get their energy from interacting with other individuals, whereas extroverts get their energy from within themselves. Extroversion includes the trait of being energetic, talkative, and assertive. The third one is agreeableness. Such individuals are friendly, cooperative, compatible, kind, and gentle. The fourth one is neuroticism. Neuroticism is also called emotional stability. This domain or dimension relates to emotional stability and the degree of negative emotions. The last one is consciousness. Persons who have a high degree of consciousness are reliable and prompt. Such persons remained organized, systematic, laborious, and complete in all respects. So these are the big five personalities. So now the next topic is motivation. It is the inculcation to pursue and persist in the activities related to one's sport. Motivation is further divided into two types. The first one is intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is internal. It occurs when people are compelled to do something out of pleasure, importance, or desire. The second one is extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is external. It occurs when external factors compel the person to do something. So, now the next topic is techniques of motivation. There are many techniques mentioned in your textbook. We will discuss some of them. The first one is positive attitude. Proper motivation, the coaches should try to encourage positive attitude among sportspersons. The second one is prizes. It is a good incentive to the sportsperson. It motivates the individual. Every government strives hard to achieve better in international competition. Therefore, these governments offer cashes prize to the sportsperson who win the laurels for their country. The third one is knowledge. Experimental studies indicates that a person who has the knowledge of his or her progress will learn more rapidly than an equally motivated learner of a comparable ability who is working in the dark. Next one is hypnotism. Motivation through hypnotism can be effectively, but generally it is discarded by the public. The next one is spectator. If there is huge number of spectator, it will have a positive effect on the player, but its effectiveness depends on the experience and maturity of the athlete. The next one is competition. Elaborate arrangements of competition play a significant role in motivation. Sportspersons perform better in competition when the arrangement of competition are elaborate. The next one is goal setting. Goal setting is one of the most important techniques of motivation. If you do not set a goal, you cannot achieve apex position in your life. So the sportsman should be encouraged to set few ambitious but achievable long-term goals. The next one is verbal comments. Various factors of motivation are applied at various stages. Verbal comments should be applied during competition. It also varies according to the past experience of the player. The next one is environment. Healthy sports environment plays a vital role in motivating the sportsperson. Healthy sports environment consists of good climate, proper weather, humidity, temperature, smooth and clean sports field. The last one is positive self-talk. Positive self-talk is a technique that can be used to enhance motivation. So these are the various techniques which have been mentioned in your textbook, which plays a significant role in motivating a player towards his or her achievement in sports and games. So the next topic is exercise adherence. Exercise adherence refers to maintaining an exercise regime for a prolonged period of time following the initial adoption phase. Now let's discuss some reasons to exercise. The first one is body weight. Controlling body weight is another reason to exercise. If it is done regularly, it helps to control and manage our body weight. The second one is social relations. Improved social relation is one of the significant reasons to exercise. The next one is fitness. To attain improved psychological health and fitness is a reason to exercise. The fourth one is appearance. Not only can exercise help you feel better, but it also helps us to look better as well. The last one is emotional health. Improved emotional health is one of the reasons to exercise. In fact, exercise has been proven to provide a mood booster as it releases chemicals like endorphins into the brain that help us to feel happier and can ease the effects of depression. Now the next slide is about the benefits of exercises. As this topic we have already learned and read about it in our previous classes, so I don't think so we need to talk about this topic in detail. Let's just read the points. The first one is disease, followed by body posture, mood, memory, depression, anxiety, strength, alertness, stress and confidence. You can also add some more points mentioned in your textbook to elaborate your answers. But don't forget to give a brief description of each and every point. Now, the next topic is strategies for enhancing adherence to exercises. There are a variety of strategies mentioned in your textbook. The first one is exercise. Simple exercises in the beginning. There is a simple rule for motor development that is simple to complex. It should be applied to those who are freshers. The second is support. People are socially motivated. It is usually seen that they tend to exercise more frequently, more intensely and longer when they are with other people. The third one is concentrate. Concentrate only on yourself. It is a fact that there will always be someone fitter, faster and more flexible than you. Don't compare yourself to them. Don't let them deter you from your goal. Your workout or exercise time is for you and about you. The next point is punctual. Be punctual. Whenever you start exercising, you should be punctual. If you do not start your regular exercise program at an exact time, you cannot adhere to exercise at all. The next is goal. Set your goals. You should set your appropriate goal, that is what is your clear-cut purpose for exercise. And the last one is schedule. Make a schedule for enhancing the adherence to exercise. You should make a schedule. As a matter of fact, it is harder to ignore something when it is already on your schedule. So these are some of the points, some of the strategies mentioned in your textbook. The last topic of this chapter is aggression. It refers to a range of behaviors that can result in both physical and psychological harm to oneself, other or object in the environment. Aggression is further divided into two parts. The first one is hostile aggression. Hostile aggression is inflicting or causing harm, whether it is physical or psychological, on someone else, whereas the second one is instrumental aggression. Instrumental aggression is displaying aggression behavior in the pursuit of a non-aggressive goal. So students, here your chapter end. Don't forget to give a thorough reading to your textbook, and yes, do solve previous year question paper. Thank you everyone.